Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. I'm here with my friend and colleague, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. And it's Friday, so we're going to be talking tech in easy to understand terms and to help you get familiar with things that are up and coming and things that have already passed. With that, we're going to get started with This Week in Tech History. How you doing this morning, Fran?
I am doing very well. Welcome, everybody watching live and on the replay. We appreciate you. Let us get started here. Let me see what I can find for you. A couple of things. Okay, I don't know how I got that picture over there. Interesting. Let me go back over here. Maybe I was somewhere else. It's amazing what happens when you are pulling stuff up. Let me close this whole thing. Okay, I'll try it again.
Okay.
I really did have this together.
I know what you mean.
I was watching, I was like, wait, what happened? Okay, so we're gonna start. Wow. July 17th, 1850. Let's go there.
Wow. 1850. Okay.
1850. And the first photograph of a star is taken at the Harvard Observatory.
Oh.
The star photograph was Vega in the Lyra constellation, the second brightest star in the northern hemisphere.
Wow.
A photograph of a star. I'm like, okay.
1850. That's
Yeah, you'd think like, oh, they had tech back then.
exactly. And how far away is that? Wow.
Right. Let's see. So July 17th, 1970, Ralph Baer demonstrates the video game system he invented, simply called the Brown Box, to Magnavox Engineering Production and Marketing Management in Fort Wayne, Indiana. He introduced this. Previously, Baer had demoed the Brown Box to many other TV manufacturers, including RCA, Zenith, Sylvania, and Magnavox. Without any licensing agreements. A licensing agreement with RCA was written but canceled in March of that year. It was this demo with Magnavox's VP of marketing that would eventually lead to the creation of the first home video game system, the Magnavox Odyssey, and the birth of the video game industry.
There you go. See, what if he had given up? He said, "Oh, well, nobody wants this." You know what I mean?
Somebody wanted it. Somebody went, oh, I can see the possibility. So sometimes people do not see.
If they cannot see the commercial use where they can monetize something immediately, or it's so expensive that they think people won't buy it, then they don't want to touch it. So here he was. Look at all the people he went to, all the people that rejected it. And look at what it led to.
And so that's a lesson for all of us. Don't be giving up on your ideas just because somebody else can't see the vision, cannot see what it is that you're attempting. July 17th, 1979 or 75, Apollo 18 and Soyuz 19 successfully dock in orbit, and the astronauts and cosmonauts shake hands. This marks the first time in history that spacecraft of two nations dock in space.
Wow.
Okay. On July 17th, 2002, Steve Jobs introduces Apple's now ubiquitous calendaring software, originally named iCal for Macintosh computers. At the time, it was an innovative advancement in calendaring
Mm,
software for the Mac, allowing internet sharing of calendar data and letting users manage multiple calendars. It took advantage of the then new Apple iSync technology to sync their calendars to Bluetooth enabled mobile phones, Palm OS devices, and the Apple iPod so users could access their calendars on the go.
mm,
iCal became a mainstay for Mac users, but it achieved mainstream usage starting with the release of iPhone in 2007. And since the operating system of the iPhone, called iPhone OS at the time, later renamed iOS is 2010, is at its core. iOS 2010 is at the core, identical to the Mac OS operating system, and much of the software that runs on the Mac OS can easily be ported to the iPhone, iCal included.
mm, mm,
Uh,
mm.
Apple, however, called the iOS version simply Calendar, and then Apple renamed iCal on the Mac OS to match the iOS name in 2012 with the release of OS 10 Mountain Lion. Originally, it was released as a free standalone download, and iCal was not actually available until September of that year, and then bundled as a part of the OS in the next year. However, by July 17th, it has become a very important in technology history because it was used as the basis for World Emoji Day, which was started in 2014. This date was chosen because the emoji that Apple created to represent a calendar has always shown the date July 17th in recognition of the date that the original iCal software was introduced. So
Oh,
it's
that's
so
nice
uh,
to know.
right now, but now on my down on my desktop, it shows the exact date for today. But the I guess if you go to the App Store and look at calendar, it would say July 17th, I guess. Okay.
Probably.
Yeah. Um, July 17th, 2014, Jeremy Burge, founder of Emojipedia, creates the World Emoji Day, a celebration of emojis, the now ubiquitous icons we use in text communications to visually represent emotional cues. Burge chose the date of July 17th because Apple's emoji for calendar displays July 17th.
Mm.
Okay. World Emoji Day has become so popular that it has influenced the design of the calendar emoji on other platforms. Originally, companies other than Apple used a variety of dates on their calendar emoji. As World Emoji Day grew in popularity, the various dates caused confusion. So, as
Mhm.
the writing of this article in 2023, most major platforms now display July 17th on their calendar emoji, Microsoft and Facebook being notable exceptions. I guess they didn't want to play.
I
Uh,
guess.
July 18th, 1968, Robert Noyce, Andy Grove, and Gordon Moore incorporate Intel in Santa Clara, California to build microprocessors. Their first processor, the 4004, was released in 1971 for use in calculators. IBM's choice of Intel's 8088 processor for use in the IBM PC led to Intel's emergence as the premier manufacturer of processors still to this day.
Mhm.
And this last piece of history, July 19th, 2000, Apple introduces the G4 Cube Power Macintosh. At the time of introduction, it was one of the smallest desktop computers ever produced. While not considered a commercial success, it did find a small dedicated following, and it was the foreshadowing of future Apple's designs. And it was just basically a little cube,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yes.
And then you still had to have your monitor and whatever, but it was still a small desktop. Now, go ahead.
Yeah, and I noticed that when they showed it on TV, that all of the buses and the different electronic components were on the outside to the left in like a separate box. And I said, oh, that makes it easier to change out the component parts. Like when you get a bigger bus, you can just switch them
Yep,
out. And
yep,
so
yep, yep.
that was cool. And when they added, what do you call it, graphic cards and different things, as they added it, you didn't have to go inside the computer to, to
And
change
try
that
and
up.
open it all up, unscrew stuff. Yeah.
Yes, which I thought was really cool.
So let's talk about some tech that's making history.
Okay.
Now, so Meta wants to put on a spectacle. This is the story from Tech Brew. Oh, no, Morning Brew. Um, Mark Zuckerberg is wagering that people want to take pictures with their sunglasses, whether they
Mhm.
admit it or not. Meta is exploring buying a 3% to 5% stake in the eyewear leader Es- EssilorLuxottica, which is the
Mm.
parent company of Ray-Ban.
Oh, okay.
So the roughly $5 billion investment would be pretty small potatoes for Meta, which
Mhm.
has a market value of nearly 1.2 trillion.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. But the deal would offer a peek into Meta's wearable tech roadmap, which has historically been dominated by the success of its Oculus Quest 2 and more recently, the MetaQuest 3 VR headsets. So the two companies have had a close partnership since their first collab, which is the releasing of the smart glasses in 2021.
Mhm.
Now, reactions to the first version of the glasses remain bad to whatever. But in October of 2023, the next generation, which is the Ray-Ban Meta Smart Glasses, hit the market, and consumers plus execs from Meta were pleasantly surprised. The new version sold more pairs in a few months than the original one did in 2 years.
Mhm.
The glasses will allow wearers to live stream what they're seeing directly to Instagram and Facebook. They also feature AI that can answer user questions like, "What kind of flower am I looking at?"
Nice.
Yep. Um, in 2017, against antitrust officials' warnings, Essilor and its proprietary lens tech and Lux and its proprietary lens tech and Luxottica with the big name brands like Prada, Vogue, Eyewear, Lens Crafters, Sunglass Hut became one. So Essilor Luxottica paired up. The
Mhm.
conglomerate Essence snapped up med tech companies and younger brands like Supreme to expand its eyewear empire. EssilorLuxottica will handle the cool. Even a minority stake in the eyewear company would give Meta a leg up on competitors like Apple and Snap in
Mm.
making wearable tech that doesn't look horrendous. That part.
Yes.
The deal is not yet official, but Meta has already received approval from US antitrust officials, according to Bloomberg.
Mhm.
I'm just saying.
That's good to know.
It really is good to know. Um, Anywho, that is that part of it. I'm trying to see if there was something else. There was some things in the tech brew part of
Mm-hmm.
this. Hit the brakes. A lot of people are killed in traffic crashes every year in the US, and the federal regulators are making an effort by requiring automakers to install automatic emergency braking in their cars. So, like you've seen the commercial where I think it says, who is it? Not Volvo. Um, who's the people? Subaru, like the car stop when if you're about ready to, if it
Like there's a
senses it.
sensor there.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it senses that you're coming up too close on somebody or whatever, and it puts on the brakes.
Oh, nice. Uh-huh.
I'm okay, I'll voice my opinion in a minute. But um already about 90% of new vehicles are equipped with AEB after automakers voluntarily agreed to add the technology, according to the Associated Press. So now the government is coming in with a bipartisan infrastructure law requiring the establishment of minimum performance standards for the systems. And they are asking that by 2029 that all new vehicles have this feature.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm thinking now, this was something that could help people. Why wasn't it already a part of all the cars?
And they've had it since 2017, right?
Mhm. They've had it a while. This
That's
is
almost
some
10 years.
this is, some cars have had it quite a while, and they were like, and you can get the emergency like seat belts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, it took y'all a while to tell us that we needed the seat belts and it became law. But some car automakers didn't have them. We don't need the seat belts.
Oh my goodness.
But
I
the seat
well, it's the same way. I don't know why people hold back things that are so life uh protecting. You know what I mean? It's so vital to protect for safety.
right.
Uh,
And you could have, you probably wanted to get paid,
like mhm. Like we were
but
saying the other day, people want it to be commercially viable.
right. But how come we can't do this and for the greater good?
I have
I
no
can
answer for that because I think it should be done for the greater good, and I think that's one of the things that people are going to miss about government as they keep reducing the number of civil servants and laws. You're going to get less and less safety regulations.
uh,
No
but
inspectors, no enforcers.
but okay, because apparently they can't police them. Some people
They're
cannot
not
police.
willing to police themselves.
Oh, so anyway, this was. I thought that was really. It's unfortunate that the government had to make you do it.
Had to require it. Yes.
Right. All right. So I don't know if all of you have heard about the AT&T data breach.
Tell us more.
Okay, records of calls and texts from virtually all AT&T customers fell into the wrong hands. And the telecom giant revealed that last week, touching off
Mhm.
a regulatory investigation and a barrage of questions. Whether you're an AT&T customer or not, here are three things you need to know about the breach. One, metadata matters. Unlike the massive AT&T data breach incident that became public in the spring, and included millions of customers' social security numbers. The main information compromised in this leak is call and text records. This includes what numbers communicated with each other and what frequency, but it does not include specific timestamps for those interactions, an AT&T spokesperson said.
So if you're creeping, you might want to stop texting and calling because it's subject to show up. Okay.
And the person that was interviewed by Tech Bruce
Mm-hmm.
says that it didn't include the content in this latest trove, doesn't include the content
No,
of calls or text,
you can't
personal
see what they said.
personal information such as social security numbers, date of birth, or other personally identifiable information. While the incident could be easy to brush off, it's worth noting that phone numbers are generally included in the list of personally identifiable information that companies have responsibility to safeguard. The Federal Communications Commission said in a post that it was an ongoing investigation into the AT&T breach and is coordinating with law enforcement. The VP of Digital Trust, Dave Ottenheimer, and ethics for data startup Inrupt told Tech Brew that metadata can allow bad actors to piece together intimate details of a customer's life. So just because you see a phone number that called another phone number, if you look up that phone number, it's the doctor's office and you find out that it's a cancer specialist. So now you know
that someone may have been being treated or is
because you uh, piece together
invaded.
the two phone numbers that they
Mm-hmm.
called.
Mm-hmm.
So your information, so now information you may not have wanted to be out there is out there.
Mm-hmm. Particularly if you're a public figure.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then some EV news. Mercedes-Benz and Starbucks are teaming up to make sure you and your car can get a jolt in the morning at the same time. The companies on Wednesday unveiled plans to expand Mercedes-Benz network of DC fast chargers to 100 Starbucks stores across the U.S., with initial locations planned along Interstate 5 on the Pacific Coast. The chargers would be open to all vehicle brands, according to a news release.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But
both
what they'll bring your Starbucks out to the car while you're charging
no, they're just putting charging stations at
close.
the Starbucks locations.
Mm-hmm.
Both companies already invested in EV charging, are already invested in EV charging. Starbucks offers nearby access to charging at more than 1,000 stores per the news release. And this partnership is a part of a $1 billion investment by Mercedes-Benz High Power Charging to build fast chargers across the U.S. The network opened its first location in November and now has a dozen sites with plans to be in nearly half of the U.S. states in the next 12 to 18 months.
Wow. So did I understand you correctly to say that Mercedes-Benz is getting into the charger business?
They are, because they have electric vehicles, so they're putting charging stations along where they're partnering up with.
And I wonder if these stations are free.
No, you're probably going to need to
So
pay.
they're going into the charging station business with Starbucks.
Starbucks is allowing them to put the charging
Use
station
their property.
right,
Mm-hmm.
and they are going to put the charging stations in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Mercedes has electric vehicles, so there, I don't know. It depends. Like with the superchargers on Tesla, you still got to pay,
Mm-hmm.
a certain amount, and I think everybody has to pay. You're,
Okay.
I just don't think they're just going to make them free while you're
Mm-hmm.
drinking coffee, because I don't.
Exactly. People
They
be
have
the
to pay for
hour.
that some kind of way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So they're going into the charging station business.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if people are paying, it's a business, right? It's a
Yep.
for profit. Okay. All righty.
So one more thing, it says web on wheels. When you're headed out on to your perfect vacation this summer, stay connected with AT&T in-car Wi-Fi. Why? Connected cars unlock tons of features for your travels. For next level streaming to safety, AT&T, somebody is teamed up with AT&T why you need to hook up your whip. Okay, really? Who is this?
So that your car is, no matter where you are, you have access to um, Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
It's like a mobile hotspot.
Oh, so you can and it's called okay, breaking news, the future of travel is here. It's called in-car Wi-Fi. Not sure what it's all about. Perfect. We teamed up with AT&T. This is Tech Brew. AT&T in-car Wi-Fi to tell the story of connected cars. I don't know about that. And explain how the importance of this new technology is said to be in the not so distant future. Yep, you're going to want to read this one. Download the white paper for free. Um, let's see. Do we want to be connected to every car? I mean, you understand what I mean?
Do we want to be over connected?
I'm
But
not because this is not like being connected at home. Okay, so if you're on AT&T at home and I'm on AT&T at home, I'm not connected to you. But they said in here, connected
it's like
car.
an intranet, so everybody's in there at the same time.
Mm, it's okay.
It's like a closed
Connected,
network.
connected cars. I don't know if I want to. Okay, y'all couldn't handle the data breach for the regular stuff.
that's that's very true. So now I got to trust you with my car. And my question is it going to have an impact on my electronics if it goes down? My operating systems of the actual car.
Right, because the most cars are computers right now.
Exactly.
Even if it's a gas-powered car, stuff is run.
Connected.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Because there was one person, um, I don't know if he's a conspiracy theorist or not, but he went to a conference,
Hmm.
cyber conference or something, and they did a demo where they took over somebody's car
Yes.
from within wherever they I was like, see, took control of the car
Hmm.
with a computer.
Which makes sense. I mean,
So what's to say that somebody can't do that? Okay, if we're all interconnected, do I need to have my vehicle interconnected?
and can I choose when I want it interconnected?
Hmm.
Like if I'm going up into some mountains or somewhere where, it might be a little sketchy to be there in the first place. I don't know why people go to these places, but anyway, to these remote places and decide to camp out and want to know why the bear is looking at them cross-eyed. Like, what you doing here? You don't want me in your pool. I don't want you in my neighborhood.
Yeah, and I'm like,
How you doing?
yeah, I don't know, man. Hey, TJ.
Hello.
So I don't know if I want to be interconnected with everybody, and until y'all can get your data breach together, definitely
But
not
we
having.
already interconnected. Did you see what happened this morning?
Yes,
Oh, did
with
you?
the airport. Yeah,
It's
with the
that's because the networks are connected. What was
mhm.
it? Cyber. What's the name of the company? Cyber something.
Wait a minute,
Let me
cross
see.
something. Hold on.
Oh yeah, crowd something.
Yeah.
I was looking at it. Let me see.
Okay, wait.
Crowd.
So somebody done hacked into the airport.
No, there's no
No,
hack.
it's they were doing a
CrowdStrike.
patch.
They
It
weren't hacked.
as it
Well,
turns out, they were doing their own patch and they messed
So
themselves
what
up.
it is that network servers are Microsoft. They're not Apple. Most because most servers are Windows based. They're not
Window
because
based.
it's different things. But as a network administrator, which is you're in charge of the network, you have to patch. You have to constantly, and you know that from having a computer. What does Apple do? They're always saying update, update, update.
update.
So a
Yes.
network administrator's job is to continually update the network, but you don't do it on a Friday, and you don't you test it first. So they did it on a
Thank
Friday, and
you.
they did not test it.
Thank
So they just
you.
pushed it out because
The patch.
this is a cyber security company that they contract with enterprise software companies that they pay them to keep their networks hacker free as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So they pushed out this update and did not test it. They did not. They just pushed it out. So when you do an update on your computer, especially if it's a Windows computer, I haven't seen this on a Mac. On a Windows computer, it will blue screen of death, and it's because, well, I don't know what it is. Is it one of the is it the software that's on the computer that connects it to the printer? Is it the software on the computer that connects it to the network? They don't know what it is. It's just a blue screen of death. So you either have to roll it back. When I'm saying roll it back, this is a computer. The Microsoft computer usually roll it back to a restore.
Mm-hmm.
Or you try to, or the company puts out a new patch and you put the new patch on. So see, that's what they did. They rolled out this update, it broke it, and they were like, oh my God, what do we do? So, but this isn't a computer, this is a network
Of software.
everything. So that's why there's hospitals affected, the airports are affected, the banks are affected, everything is affected. Because this company provides them software that protects them from cyber hackers. So that's what it was.
Ooh, this sounds like
It's a
Die
hot mess.
Hard, Live Free, or
What happened in that movie? I remember that movie. Was that the third one? Was that the one with Samuel L. Jackson?
No,
Live
that
Free?
wasn't that one. This is with the one that he was in there with the kid from the Apple commercial.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, okay. So wait, Live Free or Die Hard.
I know the title. I just haven't seen that one. I was like, okay, what was the plot of that one?
So the guy that was in it was the guy from Justin Long. He played.
I know the guy, but what was the movie?
Okay, so the thing is that some hackers, they had hackers take down some stuff like the electrical, the
grid,
the grid, take down the grid and everything. And it was what is the thing called? It's not the doomsday, but it's a safe. What is it? Oh my gosh, it's something that happens where it was a whole. It's something that happens. It was it's internet-based terrorism. So
okay.
And what they did was they caused a fire sale. Is that what it's called? Where it shut down everything.
Because everything's connected.
That I mean, the street lamps was
because everything's online. This is one of the fears that we have as like a foreign infiltrator country that wants to take us down, that they could do this. But we always had fail safe or a point of access where and I explained it in my Discord as dominoes. That's what this is. So one domino falls, all the other ones fall. That's what this is. I mean, to put it simply. So that's why it's a network of computers. They're all connected. They all talk to each other. That's how we get the internet. That's how we're live now. So if it depends on the systems that are set up, because a network can be can be connected to another network, can be connected to another network. So when I was at EPA, we always had a second location. Like everything's backed up in North Carolina. Like all files, everything is, so in case the main computer went down in New York City, we would connect to North Carolina.
And that was part of when you need to watch the movie, because that's what happened. They knew the people because they had, okay, so the villain apparently had worked for the, the government had brought him in to show how to best protect it, and he put together something that would bring it down so that he can become the hero, and they would hire him to do the
cybersecurity.
Yes, because he showed them their vulnerabilities. But they didn't like that.
And they didn't want to pay either.
Because he knew that if you do this, that they were going to send it over to Maryland somewhere. All of that. The movie is good.
So see, this is the thing that it's like, now you see, it's like open heart surgery, what we're looking at. Now you're looking at, okay, I pick up my phone and it instantly works. Like electricity. What do? You hit the light switch. You don't think about all of the things that have to happen for you to get light or water. So the internet is the utility. So you're seeing it. People are seeing it. So now, unfortunately, people there. I read the story that the lady was upset because her father, 73 years old, was supposed to have open heart surgery. They can't do that. They can't. They're trying to scramble and figure out. So now they have to do paper and pen.
No.
Well, the good news is he wasn't in the middle of surgery.
Right. But think about the people in the middle of the surgery. So things like surgery, you want a skilled surgeon because they know how to do the operation. And the best example of this is MacGyver. Remember that TV show when he was that's what they're doing now. Everybody has to look at the paper charts. Instead of looking on the iPad or the Surface or whatever electronic device. They got to go to the paper. They got to go get the file. So everything slows down now. And you see the airports, people can't fly because the airlines need the network to fly. That's how they keep all the planes in the air at one time.
Amen.
The air traffic controllers, they can't see the plane. They need the internet to tell them on the radar that this plane is here, 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 here. If they can't see that, no planes can fly. It's grounded. So now you got to go find a train, the bus, a car. They can't fly because the planes will be all up in the air hitting each other, because it's not like they're looking out when you're driving in a car, you see in the rear view, you see the car in the rear view mirror, but in the airplanes, they can't see each other. That's why they talk to ground control,
right?
Air traffic controls.
I don't think I want to be able to see the plane next to me.
You know, a plane can see another plane. It's too close. It's too close.
Is this the blue screen? Did you?
Yes, that's the blue screen of death.
Oh my gosh!
Just went blank.
That's what they call a blue screen of death, and that means it's offline. It's not connected.
So here we go. Do you want me to roll it?
Yeah. Let's listen to it.
Okay, let's see.
Flights across the globe, hitting airlines, banks, stores, and even some 911 services.
It makes taking care of people in the emergency room extremely difficult and time-consuming, as if it wasn't already.
The outage appears to stem from an update from a cybersecurity company called CrowdStrike, causing users of Microsoft Windows operating systems to crash. CrowdStrike tells NBC News it suffered a major outage, impacting businesses globally. The CEO says in a statement, CrowdStrike is actively working with customers impacted by
can you pause it for a second?
Single content.
Okay, so I want you to see where it says it's for Windows. Windows is affected. Yeah. Mac and Linux hosts are not impacted. So so this is probably why StreamYard is still up, because most web hosting is Linux based. That's why we're, otherwise if this was on Windows, we wouldn't be talking today.
Wow.
So it's Windows things only. So most web hosting, fortunately, is on Linux. That's another platform. So you have Windows, Mac, Linux. There's some other smaller networking software platforms. So that's why we're here, because of Linux. So that's why I wanted to pause that. So you can get going. Put it back on.
Update that is not a security incident or cyber attack. At least 3 major U.S. airlines, Delta, American, and United, grounded flights earlier this morning. The FAA says several airlines requested assistance. Lines have been growing at airports nationwide.
Nothing they can do.
No information.
Can you pause something for a second?
They have no idea what's going on.
America.
Okay. Spirit Airlines already had problems. They do not need to have any more.
If you had issues already, this just 10x your problems. And trust me, people are calling Microsoft very, very, very angry right now, because Windows is the backbone of corporate world. This on Mac, they do some stuff on Mac, but most of, say, your Coca-Colas, your Nikes, your Pepsis, your big company, America, they use Windows. That's why Microsoft is the, they have all of the market share that they have, because most of the world runs computers on Windows.
And so this CrowdStrike people pretty much broke it when they
broke it because they put up the patch, because they do patches all the time, because everything has to be patched. That's why we tell you, when you have a Mac and they say update, even if you have an iPhone, they tell you to update, and it's automatically set. It's automatically set and goes, and you don't think about it. But this is a network administrator's job, is to constantly update the network software, because it runs on software, it runs on a server, and they have to constantly be in that cold, and it's a cold room, and you go in there and there's nothing but boxes. There's a 1 or 2 monitors, because they don't need to do like you do on your computer. They just need one monitor and 1 keyboard, and there's like 1,000 boxes in the room, and they push out the updates, and it's like, fine. I don't know what happened here. They said they didn't test it. I hear rumors that it wasn't tested, that they pushed out an update without doing a test, and so it will be investigated. This will be investigated.
Okay, this week in tech history. This is gonna make history. Go ahead, Terry.
Today is history. Yes, this is your lights. The power grid went out. Is kind of like what this is, like your lights.
This is major.
Yeah, it's major.
And says it's now been able to
go ahead, Dr. Todd, you wanted to say something.
Across the country, users on social media have been posting messages of their computer screens stuck on what's called the blue screen of death.
The blue screen of death.
Around
That's
the world.
what it is.
Microsoft.
Oh my God, was that Macy's?
Saying, we acknowledge how impactful this is to our customers.
See?
And we are working to restore services for those still experiencing.
It's not Microsoft's fault, though.
As possible.
No.
Yeah, it continues as we speak. Regardless of when these systems are back up and running today, the ripple effect could roll through the day, affecting flights all day. We're also getting reports that some cities' transit systems, subways, trains, and buses are affected, including here in Washington.
Because they all run, everything is run technology-wise now on a network, on the computer, and that's why. So it's going to be a rolling update, because they have to test the patch, and they have to test the patch, test it somewhere, and then apply it piecemeal, like puzzles, like putting a piece of puzzle, making a whole puzzle. They got to go and test each piece now.
So I have 2 things. First, Microsoft, that's what you get for getting rid of DEI. Chickens are coming home to roost. Seriously. Second, Terry, do you think that obviously most systems are very entrenched in Microsoft? Do you think that this will now make certain... Okay.
No, go ahead, finish. Because
no, I already know your answer.
Microsoft is Microsoft. Microsoft took over, and I just said that everything in the office is Microsoft. They cornered the market. They have the platform. And again, this is not Microsoft's fault because Microsoft makes the update. This company is the problem. This company
is the problem.
did not test. You must test an update in what's called a sandbox.
Which only makes sense.
Think of a sandbox at the park.
Even grandma used to make that test cake.
I don't know what happened with this company. Maybe it was a new employee. Maybe the regular network administrator was on vacation. I don't know, but somebody that was new, that knows how to handle this, wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody else came and said, there's an update. Click on the keyboard. And here we are. I'm just telling you, because this is not, they do updates 20 times a day. Updates are done 20 times, like boom, 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 boom. Whenever there's a new update, that's why I said it's not Microsoft's fault. This is the company. And I'm thinking that the person that is the administrator wasn't there. Something wasn't there. Somebody experienced was not there. And somebody else came and went, update.
So do you think that
this is what I'll just say this, because this is what happens because we have a business where we fix people's computers, businesses and individuals. We're always telling them do not click a thing that comes and says update, because you don't know where it's coming from. So 9 times out of 10, when they call and say my computer blue screen of the death or it's not working, we said, what did you click on? Because you clicked on something that wasn't the official Mac update, Windows update, whatever it was. So that's why I'm saying that this is somebody that did this and the regular person wasn't there, because updates come down all the time when you have a Windows machine. That's why I keep a Windows laptop. And every time it's like, updates, and I just hit it and let it go because that's not my main computer. But go ahead. They're just trying to give you a little bit more.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So the second part of continue the question. Do you think that this now provides an opportunity for a company like Apple to swoop in and provide services?
No, because it's like, okay, so let's talk about the phone. When we have phones, who has the biggest usage market share users on smartphones?
Android or Samsung?
Apple. It's Android.
It's Google, Android
phones.
Right. They have the biggest piece of the pie. We could pull up something now and says Google has 60%. I'm just throwing a number. Google has 60%. Apple has 40%. They're and like I said, that Microsoft has started this. Go back to the 80s and 90s, whenever we started doing computers in offices. Microsoft grew and is big as it is now because of the Office adaptation of Microsoft on the computers. Apple back then was something different. Apple was
creative,
graphic. It wasn't Office, but they went into that. So the adaptation of it, Microsoft already owns the market. There's nobody to come in and take over. There's not a company to come in and take over for Microsoft. So,
but I wish that Apple would.
Oh yeah, it would be nice, but
because we would not be going through some stuff. I was working on something in the real estate and lending industry, and they wanted us to use. I had to put Microsoft Edge on my computer. Is that what that is? Yeah, Microsoft Edge.
The browser, yeah.
And then I had to have a Microsoft Outlook enterprise account, and then all of these little hoops and tricks and stuff that you had to do just to get into the program to do what it was, and then it didn't talk to the other stuff.
Right. I was like, you have to have software that talks to each peripheral, and then see that's the issue. Like there's Microsoft, there's Windows, and then it has to talk to your computer, and then there has to be software that has to talk to the computer, and then the printer, and then then there's different manufacturers of printers, and then they have to roll out updates because there's a break. If Microsoft Windows updates something on the computer, then the printer company has to that's why there's so many updates on Windows, because it has to have connection with another company. Apple is different. Apple is one ecosystem where they make everything work together within Apple. They rarely go outside. So that's why they can update and there's not a break in anything. So I mean, we got to go back into the history of the computer being in the office.
So someone I was working with, they had bought themselves a I'm going to get an HP something because it's on sale and this is a good price. Then comes, okay, you need to update to Windows 11. Then you need to update to something else. And then there's stuff popping up on the screen. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
it is not easy. Oh my gosh.
So that was the thing when I was at EPN in IT. That's what the thing that we had to make sure it was update of this and that, and we would get calls. This is not working. That is not working. Whenever we did a network update, it was like, oh my God, they're doing a network update, and that would be the days when we would be at the help desk going, oh my God, this is going to be a rough day, because users are going to call because the thing they need to work on is not going to open, or I did a save. Where's my save? And then we got to roll them back to okay, we'll restore it from yesterday's backup. And it's a very headache kind of thing. So I kind of understand what these people got to do.
It is very clunky and very, like you said, heavy. And I was like, okay.
And it's because Microsoft they built the foundation in the house, but you need a printer. Well, they don't do printers. HP does the printer, or Brother, or whatever. And then the Brother people that make the software for the printer to talk to Windows, those not computers, what are the programmers have to make sure that it works. And then if Microsoft makes an update, which they do, then they have to it's a rolling thing, is all I can explain it. When one thing changes, everything has to change. So,
and therefore I am on a Mac.
Yeah, so see, with Apple, it's all internal. They make the update, and I don't even check for updates. That it comes through automatically. It just bloop. We don't even think about it. But Windows, it's a different thing. And when I heard today, I was like, oh my God, the thing that they thought they didn't want to happen happened, but it didn't come from a foreign country. It came from a company inside of us. So.
I have to ask another. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, Frank.
No, go.
Well, this to me, I know it's not their fault, but doesn't this indicate some weaknesses in the system if it's this easy for another entity, not even somebody within Microsoft, but somebody within another entity to make major wahala like this? Doesn't that indicate some weaknesses in the system? And what do they do to fix it? Oh, great one.
There's nothing to fix. Okay, so let's look at, what was it? What's the name of the company? Something?
CrowdStrike.
CrowdStrike.
Okay. They did strike.
So CrowdStrike wrote software that they say, hey, not Apple. I want to say like Nike, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, P&G, or I'm trying to think of a big corporation like that. And they say, hey, Nike, we've got software that will block 99% of cyber attacks, because every day, every second, there's a cyber attack coming from inside of America, outside of America. They don't know. So you're not concerned about where it's coming from, because it's a shield. It's a Captain America shield is what they have. That's the best way I can put it. They have, the shield, and it blocks everything. So this company said, we have the shield. All you have to do is pay us whatever it is, yearly, whatever. We update it and it blocks. You know, Wonder Woman, the bracelets, whatever superhero thing you want to think about that blocks. Okay? So they're blocking. But okay, the shield needs updating because it gets whatever the reason is, we're gonna but when they take down the original shield, they put up another one. Here's the backup while we fix the original and then we switch it back. That's how it works. It did not work this time. We don't know right now, but we will find out. My guess is that the person that's experienced wasn't there. At the captain wasn't at the helm of the ship. They were on vacation. Whatever, because this is how IT works. There's always like a first, here's the guy, here's the head of the department, blah 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 blah. We coordinated our schedules. You can go on vacation the week of, what week is this? Friday the 19th. Go on vacation, big guy. We got the second in line, the third, the command, and they can handle it. But something broke. Somebody stepped away from something. Maybe there was an emergency. The second guy in command had to step away. Somebody inexperienced came in and said, "Oh, it's important to keep the shield in place and update. Let me do the update." Click, and all you do is click a button. There's no like big red button. It's just your keyboard, and you hit enter. And that is what happened. My guess. We will find out. Because they tell us. A network has to be constantly updated. And I know this because I work with all the network administrators every place I've been. And I'm, even one when she was like, she would show me like during my lunch hour, because like I want to learn more. I would sit next to her and watch all the stuff she was doing, and she would tell me what she's doing. So that's how I know that this is done. This is a constant thing of putting up a shield, and it has to be updated. Somebody came along and did something that they weren't supposed to do. Now, what you're saying about this is the ultimate nightmare. But we were thinking that Russia, China, who insert enemy country here, would try to get through our shield. But it's us. It's that company, CrowdStrike, whatever it is, that did it, because they're the shield that's keeping the cyber attack, keeping the wall up, so to speak. So it's them. That's why I'm saying it's not Microsoft. Microsoft does updates every single day, thousands of times a day. It would have happened already if it was Microsoft. It's not. It's this company. So that's why this CEO guy is on. I saw him on the Today Show this morning saying, because he's got to put out the fire. This is major. It's global outage. And this just shows you that the system that we're on is precarious, because I said dominoes. I was telling people in my Discord is dominoes, that one hits, they all fall over. That's just how it's designed. Now, this is good because now the people that look at these kind of things are going to say, okay, this happened. How can we prevent it next time? That's the good thing that's coming out of it. The bad thing is that, like I said, people getting surgeries, things are happening. People are stuck at the airport. They can't get to where they need to go. That's unfortunate. But I always look at it as, okay, something comes out of the chaos if it's done right. So the government is looking at this, and there are people that are going, okay, how do we prevent this? Now, you prevent this by having a backup. And I was explaining before that when I was in the EPA, all our stuff, like our New York office, all our stuff is backed up in Jersey. Then there's another backup of every government system in North Carolina. They have a whole city. It's just, that's why when I think we were talking something about the Secret Service deleted some text or something. Remember we were talking about this years ago, and they said, oh, they can't get the text. I was like, lie. They're in North Carolina. I know this for a fact. 1,000%. They don't throw away drives because of FOIA, Freedom of Information Request. There are governmental laws that say government agents must keep documents. And whenever we switched out new computers, we kept the drives. They're stored somewhere. So that's what I'm saying, that there's a backup. This company did not have a backup, or the backup failed. Something happened with the backup, because I can't believe a company this size with an important job like this would not have a backup. So the generator didn't kick in. That's another part of this. Somebody inexperienced, and the generator didn't kick in, and here we are.
Wow.
Does that explain it? I'm trying to put a lot into it. Because it's not a cyber attack. It's somebody effed up. And the F up is on these people. I still want to say
somebody is going to
Cloudflare, CrowdStrike. Yes. Yeah. So it's going to be an investigation, just like with the shooting last Saturday. There's going to be a government investigation. It's going to be, so just hold on for that. But that does not help the people in trouble right now, unfortunately. Like, people are having surgeries. And remember that, healthcare and the medical industry are doing a lot of robots, with surgery with robots and stuff, because it's precise. Now they can't do that. They got to go back to the old-fashioned way of a scalpel and and the little glasses with the thing. And so it's unfortunate. And this is the nightmare that we did not want to happen, because they thought it would be a foreign entity doing this. But it's us. So that's kind of a good thing. I always try to find the silver line. I know this is horrible. And it's just, fortunately, like I said, we're here today because web hosting is on Linux and not Windows. Windows is inefficient for web hosting. It costs more. There's too much going on. There's, updates and stuff. Linux is a different platform where it's not so involved as Windows, and it's cheaper. Okay. So that's it. Is there anything else I can, like, from what I know, put in here?
Now, this was good, because you probably did a better job explaining than the news did.
Well, because you have to have been in it. Like, you have had to have worked at a help desk, where I have the legal guys calling, screaming, because they got documents they got things, important government documents that have to go out now, and you shut out the lights, and it was whenever that happened to us, it wasn't because of inept. It was because of something always goes wrong with a computer. It's never 100% unbreakable. Something will happen. So we prepare for 99.99% of what could happen. Okay, and we would have meetings and stuff. We're getting ready to do a major update. Get go team ready, this and that, in case, and then we hit the button, and then we wait to see if it's a little explosion or a big explosion by the number of calls that the people at manning the phone would get. Because I was second level. I wasn't answering all the calls. I would get the ones that they couldn't handle, and then I would have to go, like, do the second part of it. Like, they couldn't solve it, so it would send out second team, which was me. And then I would have to, okay, do this, do that. From me, I would have to keep all that stuff in my head. It's a nightmare. So when I moved from that into Microsoft, not Microsoft, into Apple Mac stuff, I was like, oh, this is, man, I don't have to keep nothing. I don't have to keep all that stuff in my head. It was just so simple. Like you're saying, when you see what it is with Windows coming from the Mac environment, it's a nightmare. So. And there's a lot of stuff that I've forgotten, and I try to remember, but
when you started, I was like, oh, this is so nice over here.
And IT is like the Captain America shield, the one you're doing this. It's constant that. It's a constant keeping up and protecting the users. So, and I think my agency, we had like 1,200. Like 1,500 people in that office.
Wow.
So no, actually, it wasn't that office because it was New York, New Jersey, Puerto Rico, and some other. But Puerto Rico never called us. They had their own, like, they have their own IT out there, so they were good.
Wow.
But
all the stuff we don't understand in the back end of stuff that makes
it's electricity. It's you turn on your light, but you don't think about where all that comes from. So this is the same kind of thing. You pull up your phone, you turn on your computer, it comes on, you get on the internet, you're good. So now you see that the network is a network. Every server is next to each other, and one just fell over and knocked everyone over that was following it like dominoes. That's the best way to explain it. So now they got to pick up each section of the network and test it before they bring it back online.
Woo! All right.
I'm investing in the story because I want to see what happened. Like, is it something? I'm thinking it's personnel. That's what I'm thinking it is. I don't, but it could be something. I could be wrong. I'm just going with like my gut feeling.
Okay, well let's keep a watch on this.
They do this company does updates every day, all day. That's what I'm saying. It's not Microsoft. Is these people. And
wow,
we'll see what it brings. So that's a little bit.
All right.
Exciting.
So
it's never this exciting for IT. It's never this exciting. It's just
So July 19th, 2024.
Yeah, this is one for the history books.
Woo! Yeah, this will be some tech history.
And it's global. So that tells you that our network is connected to that network. So one little thing took it down. The whole thing.
Wow.
And I'm sorry that people are.
I'm sorry, really quickly.
Go ahead.
As this also, because again, I hadn't, until you all talked about it, I hadn't seen that this had happened. And again, whatever I'm using is not dependent on it. Did this affect any social platforms at all?
I haven't checked because I've been doing other things. I didn't check to see if Facebook was down or Instagram.
I didn't notice Instagram.
Etsy is up, and I went to Messenger. That's working.
Okay. So see, this tells us a lot about whatever's standing. They're not on Windows. I'll put it like that.
Okay, there you go.
Like StreamYard is. I was like, but then I remembered. Web stuff, web hosting, which StreamYard is. They have to have web hosting. That's Linux. And they're good. Anything that's not standing, that's down, is Windows. I'm thinking Meta does not do Windows. They probably do Linux or Mac.
I came in on Messenger, and it was cool.
Okay, so that means Meta probably has their own thing, their own platform, or their Linux or Mac, or it could be a combination of different things. And see, again, talking about Meta, this could be because they don't want to give Microsoft is a competitor. Why would I use their stuff? So they may have written, and again, Mark Zuckerberg is the tech guy, so he might have written something, or they've got something that's not Windows. I'll just say it like that. I didn't check to see what else was down.
Well, Facebook is cool.
Because think enterprise, and that's why I say Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Nike, companies, P&G. I'm trying to think of other companies.
Okay.
And why is it Windows down? I mean, Microsoft. Microsoft's up.
Ooh.
Does Microsoft not use Microsoft?
Microsoft might have something internal that they.
Yeah.
And it could be something internally that they have that's not connected externally. And I know I'm getting deep in the woods. They could be, because Microsoft is intranet, that they have a whole system internally within Microsoft, which makes sense because then they would have people trying to hack into Microsoft to get the secrets. So they've got a wall. They got a moat. That's why they're still up. But the product they sell, any company that uses it and is connected to this network, and here's another piece of the puzzle, is that people could be on Microsoft Windows but not connected to this big network of what is CyberStrike? I can't get the company name right. What is it? CrowdStrike. They might not be using CrowdStrike. They may be using a competitor cybersecurity software that blocks hackers, because there's more than one. It seems like this CrowdStrike is the biggest because they've got they've got the most contracts. I would have to look at it because I really don't follow cybersecurity that closely, but I'm pretty sure that anybody that's standing and on Microsoft uses the competitor to CrowdStrike. So now if I'm Nike or whoever, I want to see, well, who's standing, what company did you use, and let me go to them. Because I think I saw something that said CrowdStrike stock is like tanked. Let me see. They said the stock price. Yeah, they're down 8% already this morning. So I would have to deep dive into this company.
Well, and see, we never would have heard of CrowdStrike had this snafu.
Well, see, yeah, a lot of cybersecurity, they work in the shadow. I don't mean shadows like negatively. I mean, like, you don't pay attention to that. Like, why would I care that there's a cybersecurity firm that like has all of these contracts major? But now that the spotlight is on them, there will be more people looking at it and going, why this, and this? And then the competitors of CrowdStrike is going to get a boost because people still need the service. So we're going to see, like I said, if you're a smart CEO, you're going to say, well, who is still standing throughout this and uses Microsoft Windows? Who's still standing? Get me that CEO on the phone because I want to do business with them. That's how it works. So unfortunately, CrowdStrike, you guys are, I don't know, but with it's early, so I don't know what the fallout is going to be.
Wow. And it didn't sound like some of the it sounded like 3 major airlines.
Was it? Yeah. So see, that tells you who was it, what airline is still standing, being able to, fly and think about the air traffic controllers, if they still have access to that. It may be smaller regional airports that are still up, that they can connect into a smaller regional airport and use their system because they didn't use CrowdStrike. Understand what I'm saying? That somebody that didn't use CrowdStrike, they may be able to connect to them. But a big airline wouldn't be able to do that because it's big. Because, it's huge. So, and remember, wasn't it this year or last year that there was a big thing with the airlines were down? Like a day or two, and
stranded. Yeah.
That was because of the computer systems. Also, they just trying to make it seem like it wasn't.
So it says on this Reddit thing here, it says Delta, United, and American Airlines flights. So I'm like, who is everybody else using?
Right. So there's going to be a lot of internal looking at systems and what do we use, because we have to stay up. We have to have close to 100% uptime is what they're calling it. But there's no 100% in technology. There's no 100%. There's no 100% with cars. There's no 100% with water. There's no 100% with our electricity. When there's a heat wave, what happens? Things go down because of overload of the system. But this wasn't an overload. This was somebody that messed up and broke it. But it's broken. So let me put this CNBC article in there. You want to take a look at. I think they're trying to explain why it happened, but this is early, so.
Okay. Are you up already? Let me see something. I just looked at, let's see. Oh, CNBC story.
Yeah,
I just clicked on something here, and it says Southwest said on X that the airline is not affected by the outage.
because they're on a different system.
Mm-hmm.
I
There are
knew I
no
liked
travel.
Southwest.
Hmm? You don't like Southwest?
No, I love Southwest.
Oh, you loud? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then, this is going to be very huge for financial and stock information, because companies are now going to look at companies that survived this big outage and going to be looking at them. So that means that they're going to get more business. Their stock is going to go up. And CrowdStrike? I keep wanting to say Cloudflare. They are going. It's going to be a cascade domino with them. They're their stock is tanking. 8% is a lot in a few hours. It's like I said, it's huge. It's just wow.
Yeah, that's exactly the word. Okay, I have Terry's story.
Okay. She had to leave. Oh, okay.
Yeah, she had to go. So I am going to share the screen, and this is talking about the first hydro powered boat that it's in the San Francisco Bay. So let's hit the share button. I think I need to do this and then that. Is there audio? Okay,
is there
let me
a little
see.
button that's muted when you hover?
Oh, maybe it's just pictures.
Oh, that's the
I
boat.
heard noise. I heard.
Yeah, it sounded like people on the boat.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They're not a voiceover explaining what's going on.
AP does this a lot.
The Sea Change is the world's first passenger hydrogen ferry. So it's a very exciting day that has huge implications for the future. And yes, they absolutely have plans to build more of them and bigger ones and faster ones.
Wait a minute, hydrogen. Isn't that what happened to the Hindenburg?
Please.
Was it what blew up the Hindenburg?
It was hydrogen, yes.
But we want to ride this? No, I'm not trying to be funny.
We're putting this into service
hydrogen,
in
I'm
San
like,
Francisco, right in the heart of the waterfront, from Fisherman's Wharf to the ferry building, and we're going to operate it 3 days a week entirely for free.
That's why it's free.
I heard hydrogen, and I was like,
hydrogen can run a vessel for a very long distance. So even potentially ocean-going vessels could run on hydrogen. The maritime industry is responsible for 3% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions. So that is a really material improvement if we can switch these huge ocean-going vessels from diesel over to hydrogen. I think we're going to see that happen.
Yeah, wake happen. Okay. I'm going to be quiet.
Do we need to see more?
It shows a ton of stuff. How much are state of charges for hydrogen batteries, and how many kilowatts we're pulling from the hydrogen to charge the batteries? And
we have hydrogen is where we store all the energy. That hydrogen goes into a fuel cell. The way a fuel cell works is no moving parts, no combustion. It just has the hydrogen and air make electricity directly. That electricity then goes down to electric motors that are in the hull and turn the propellers and make the boat go.
But the hydrogen is stored on the boat.
I think, well, they said no combustion.
The future is that we see a huge amount of
the
demand
hydrogen
for
explode.
our hydrogen-powered engines. As California and the rest of the world switches away from diesel, there's a real demand to power these really heavy-duty boats, and batteries just can't do the job. They're not powerful enough.
I want to know if hydrogen is more combustible than
there are
diesel.
cities around the world. There are entire countries that we've talked to about using maritime adoption of hydrogen to really jumpstart hydrogen economy in local sectors around harbors.
It said first. It said first hydrogen.
In hydrogen powered boat in the San Francisco Bay.
So I'm thinking that dirigibles was the thing back in the day, and they were, oh yeah, hydrogen, and we can fly here and there, and then the Hindenburg happened, and then they stopped doing it. And I know it was a lot of hydrogen there, but I think hydrogen has a higher incite high point, whatever it is higher than diesel fuel, because we would still be using it.
Yeah,
if it was safe. I'm just saying. I understand what they're doing, and then to have the hydrogen in a separate container or area, and then it goes through the fuel cell, and then it's ignited. We'll see.
Yeah, everybody's trying to, there are stories, on the internet, hydrogen safety. Let's clear the air. I'm like, okay, whatever. Y'all need to make
I
sure.
understand the need for green fuel, but there's got to be like a better, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, so there are questions. There are definitely questions.
Yeah, so good luck. But I wouldn't ride it, but people are riding it, and
somebody wrote the danger.
And it's a smaller, and it's a smaller vessel than a big dirigible that's in the sky. I understand that, but
it just seems like because of that, it was so volatile that that's why they switched to using helium, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Maybe they're thinking they've made some inroads. I submit that hydrogen has not changed since it was formed.
That's what I mean. It hasn't changed. And who wants to test that? They're welcome to, but
not I said the cat. Not I said the cat.
And I understand the need for green technology. That will happen, but it won't be going back to something that, hydrogen is wonderful. Oh, yeah, but
figure out how to make them batteries bigger or more powerful.
Yeah, see, because nothing is 100% safe. Nothing. And they're trying to convince people that hydrogen is safe, and I'm like, well, it might be, but I don't know. You want to take that chance?
Like, okay, so the people who went down to see the Titanic.
I don't even want to get into that. Why? My thing is why.
I'm like, no, this is safe. Did we test it? How do we know it's safe? Okay.
It's something that you can't test. It has to go down, and that's the test. So we had the test. And now they're talking about going back. I think I read a story that some people want to go back with this technology of the little thing that goes. But I'm like, why? Why? I just want to know
back down in the ocean.
Yeah, I think I read something. They want to go back. I don't know if it's the same company or because it's not the same guy because he unfortunately perished. But they're saying something about they want to go back to using this thing that they had and going back down.
It crumbled down there. Why would we do this?
But that's my point. Why go in the first place? What is down there that you need to see that hasn't been that James Cameron hasn't shown you? Because he's been down there several times with his cameras and his subs, and he's been there and he's shown it to you. You can go right now and watch. I don't know.
So now, anyway, they're doing it. It's not a Disney ride, people, where you can go down and look at the remains of the Titanic.
Titanic that people are fascinated to go and like see with their own eyes, and I'm like, but why? But why?
It's a no. This
it's a no. But I think I've read something they want to go back. I'm not sure who they. Let me look it up real quick while we.
And why would we? This okay, so the new Twister movie is out, right?
Why a new Twister, like the old Twister with Helen Hunt, and
that Twister. Why are we chasing tornadoes?
Who asked for this?
And okay, why?
Why can't they make something new?
Because they have no.
I know why. Because Hollywood is out of ideas.
You're right.
It's the thing that we talk about all the time, right? Hollywood
Yeah.
is out of ideas.
Like, what are you talking about? I didn't say I wanted to see that.
Today on Who Asked for This?
That's what I don't understand. Yes, I was just looking real. Yeah. So 2 days ago, they took off
to go back down there.
Yeah. It says first expedition to Titanic wreck underway since the Ocean Gate. This is two days ago. They took off. I know I read it that they wanted to go, that they're going back.
Oh my gosh! Did they
In the
get a
same
better
vessel?
ship?
It's been a year.
In the same vessel?
No, not the same vessel. It's so they left from Louisiana and stocked up in Rhode Island before setting off on Friday. So today?
Okay, but what are they going down in? The same type of thing they went down in before?
I'm trying to see. So it's run by RMS Titanic Inc., the firm that owns salvage rights to the ocean liner. Wow. Hopes to capture the most detailed images of the underwater wreck using up-to-date equipment. I don't know why they're going back. I mean, like I said, James Cameron, how many pictures can you take? Well, good luck to them.
Mm.
But I know I heard, I said, oh, they want to go back. It's been a year.
You know, this sounds like the movies that we saw, like Skull Island and stuff, where they're looking for Kong and they do some dumb crap to okay, we're gonna go do this.
This time we're going to do this because the last one was a failure because they didn't do what we're gonna do. I can't. It's just funny.
They just need to
People
stop.
don't learn. People don't learn. But you know, this is all based in greed.
Yes.
You think you're going to go down there and find something that see, that's why you wanted the salvage right so badly, because when we're talking about these things, the Titanic at the time was like best in class. So we're talking really the people who really populated it had a lot of money. Obviously there were people who did not, but there were people that had a lot of money. They brought their stuff with them. They're going to try and find that treasure.
I think White Star was the company that owned, but I'm surprised. How do you own salvage rights? It's the ocean. Who? What?
That's a good question. I have no
clue. The ocean. Who owns the ocean? You mean the people that are owning the ocean now?
Now there's international waters. You know, like okay, this belongs to the United States, this part, but not the ocean.
White Star, Cunard, one of these. I can see if they say, "Hey, wherever the wreck is, we own that little square over the wreck." Okay, I'll give you that. I really don't understand that either because it's the ocean. But yeah, okay, sure. That carve out that little section where the Titanic lies. What a correct grammar. And White Star, Cunard, whatever the company owns that. But what's going on?
Okay.
But we got other fish to fry.
So, yeah.
If they want to go, bon voyage.
Have at it.
Enjoy. I just want to know why. I don't the reasoning. Like
either it's pride or money.
Probably money. And pride, but probably money.
I want to give.
Isn't human behavior is very fascinating to me. I mean, when this stuff comes up.
I want to be the one that says that I pulled it off. Whatever. You're gonna be never mind.
Well, it's well, you know, this is the interesting thing, and it's not that all types of people can't do this, but there's a certain thing when it comes to there's certain people that have this conqueror's spirit who are constantly are never satisfied with where they are and what they have, and constantly have to look to conquer things or others, or and to me that's That's a little bit dangerous. What is down there for you that you need? And here's the thing. This is why people don't go to Lake Lanier in Atlanta. The spirits of the ancestors will pull you down.
People, I never knew the background story of that lake. It was a city. It was black populated.
Yeah.
And the town people decided, oh, well, we want this, and make a lake, and just flooded it.
Wow.
They just flooded it.
Yeah. They don't talk about that in history.
Oh, they're not going to, the people in Georgia not going to tell you that.
That's why people don't go to Lake Lanier. Not us anyway.
They did what? They did what? They flooded a city with people living there?
Yes.
When I heard it, I was like, this is, and now all of these things are happening, and they're going, well, why is this happening?
No, I have to go. I'm gonna have to go and research that, because I had not heard.
Yes, it's the truth. It was a black populated city in Georgia. Wow. And see, here's the thing: the people that run it now or whatever are going, well, how come this isn't working? This should be a popular tourist spot, and people should be coming here having fun and spending money. Why is this not working?
Yeah, they made it into a beach and everything, and so.
But they're asking. Well, what I'm saying is, they're asking themselves why the townspeople that run it are going, well, why isn't this working?
Yeah, exactly. So they
not seeing why it's not working.
When people think it's a joke. Keep playing with the ancestors and see what happens. It's not a joke, and especially something that was built on hatred, because you thought certain people were so inconsequential that I could just flood your town or your city. And okay,
there's people living there. Whatever. Yeah. Who cares? Just flood it. Then this is what you get.
Wow.
And what I'm saying is, they don't understand why this isn't Disneyland. Why isn't it popping like Disney World?
It's the same thing like with the Titanic. You're trying to turn a wreck, which was a tragedy, into the circus. You're trying to make it into Disney. Keep playing.
It's a gravesite, respected as that.
It is a gravesite. No, but they want to go in and get Queen Elizabeth's pearls and all. Okay.
What?
Well, keep going. You'll see.
Well, and it's the same, like you said, the same thing that's happening in Lake Lanier is like, okay, I don't understand why you still go there. I mean, because there are people that are like, they're not connected with that. It doesn't connect in their minds, and they're like, oh, well, we're going to the lake and we're going to have a good time, and we're going to have beer, and we're going to have a picnic, and like, okay. Other people are going like, no, that's not a place to go. And there you have it. Yeah, that's what it is, Lake Lanier. Yeah, I didn't know either, because I don't live there, but I never heard of the lake. And then when people started talking about it on some of the websites that I'm on, they was like, yeah, it used to be a town and they just flooded it. And I was like, you wow. Greed. We're gonna make a Disney World here in Georgia. It's not laughable, but I'm laughing because I can't get over the sheer audacity of these people not realizing. Please stop it, but they're not stopping it because of greed. And there you have it. The people that know don't go, and the people that don't know go, and those things happen.
Wow. I'm gonna have to
it's
read more of this, because
it was a city. It's a town. But this is not the only instance. We have what's in Oklahoma?
That whole town.
Black Wall Street. Was it Oklahoma?
Yeah,
but that's just one of many. That's two of many that we could talk about, and people going like, "Wow, they did what?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they just burned it." Like, And then
Wow.
it built over everything. And the reason why I brought that up, because I think the descendants were trying to push something through lawsuit wise, and it was shut down finally, like the last thing that they couldn't go past. And then I think some of the descendants went to the town, and they were talking about, well, this is where this stood and this is where that stood, and they're trying to get some kind of monument done. They don't even want them to do that. Like where they went to was like a 7-Eleven. Like, okay, this was the thing, and the town square or something, but there's a 7-Eleven there, and they're like, yeah, whatever, we don't care. That's the attitude that we're.
Wow. Okay. And therefore, you're seeing people, the Lady in the Lake and everything else coming up.
Yeah, and they're wondering why is this not working? This should be Disney World. This should be a just popular tourist spot. Why is it not working? These people are thinking, and I'm like, it's right in front of you. Why it's not working?
So. Because you acquired it wrongly. It was wrongly acquired.
Yeah. So
okay,
so things are happening, and
so
everywhere. It seems like things are happening everywhere, like politically, government.
There's just stuff.
Lakes, hydrogen boats, and I'm thinking, we don't see what we see.
Right. So technology
you making the Twister movie. You don't see what we see, do you? We see it. Okay, so let's get into this week in social media news. Let me see. Where do we always start with Snapchat? So I'm going to start there because they had something really interesting. I hope my notes are synced. Yeah. Okay, so Snap is launching a Snap Sports Network to cover niche events, and I think we may have mentioned this before a little bit, but what they're doing, they're sharing more details of the Snap Sports Network. It will include a team of popular sports creators presenting the latest news on left of center sports. So sports that are not in the popular, football, basketball, whatever they're doing. They're going to showcase niche offerings like dog surfing, extreme ironing, professional pillow fighting, and water bottle flipping. Here's the quote from Snap. With 180 million Snapchatters watching sports coverage every month. Oh, sorry. I hit something and it jumped from my note. Oh, just as we were getting good. Okay, here we go. With 180 million Snapchatters watching sports coverage every month on average, we're covering sports in our own light-hearted and wacky way and inspiring Snapchatters to engage with unique sports they've never tried before. Beginning July 19th through August 7th, Snap Sports Network will consist of 6 episodes featuring fun, high-energy segments celebrating the latest and greatest in unconventional sports content captured by Snapchatters across the globe. So the Sports Network will include a team of 4 primary anchors along with other influencers who normally create content around traditional sports. So they'll be focusing on, like I said, what was it, dog surfing? Stuff like that. The program will also offer new sponsorship opportunities with ELF Cosmetics signing on to sponsor the initial episodes of the series. This is a different take on sports. It's going to probably hold appeal with Snapchat's audience. And of course, while they're doing it, because if you're there watching the sports network, you're going to go into the app and you're going to engage with the app and you're going to see some ads. So Snap says that millions of Snap users are already interested in sports content and they want to highlight and showcase more unconventional events that will appeal to this community. And you will find Snap Sports Network in the Discover section of the app. And I was looking for it. But it says July 19th, so it's not ready. But I was trying to figure out where the Discover section is. I think that's the main section. When you go to Snapchat, let me go back. And it's not going to be there, but
today is the 19th, so maybe it.
Oh, it is the 19th today. I didn't even notice it. So it should be there. Well, I see Spotlight. Okay, I see Stories. I found it. Discover. Oh, this says Discover. Bitmoji Stories. I don't see it. Maybe I have to update mine. It's so if you go to Snapchat, it's the icon on the bottom is the two people icon, and it shows you the stories, and then you get to see people's content that you follow, friends following, and then discover. And that the discover section is where people is making, you know, shows and contents, and it goes there. I'm not sure how the process of how you get a show in here, because like Hello Magazine has a show here, Wired has something, Adobe has something, a lot of the influencers have stuff, Family Feud has something. Okay, so I'm not sure how you get in the discover section, but it should be there. And so today's the 19th, so it should be there. I don't see it. I'll check it later. That's what Snapchat is doing. All right, let's move on to Microsoft Copilot, or Microsoft, since they're big in the news today. Microsoft's AI-powered Canva-like designer app is now available on iOS and Android. So this is their Canva, you know, Canva, Canva, where you make graphics, social media stuff. So they have a copy of that, a dupe, a lookalike, trying to be like, called Designer. So now the app is available to all users on iOS and Android. So it lets people generate images and designs with text prompts to create things like stickers, greeting cards, invitation, collages, and more. And also, if you use Copilot to make images and you go in and you want to tap in and do different things with it, it will pop up. There will be, I think there's an option for Designer, and it clicks on design. If you click on it, it opens, it takes your image over to Designer, and then you can do all the little cool things that you do in Canva. So Designer is now accessible in more than 80 languages on the web, available as a free mobile app and as an app in Windows. So the app features prompt templates that are designed to help jumpstart the creative process. So the templates have styles and descriptions that you can experiment with and customize, and you can share templates with others in order to build on each other ideas. So you know, you make stickers, you can make emojis, clip art, wallpaper, monogram, avatars, and more using text prompts. And you can also edit and restyle images with AI. So they're saying, like, for example, you can upload a selfie of yourself, and then you could put styles on it that will transform your photo into whatever it is you want with AI. And yeah, so that's it. That's it for Microsoft. In addition to whatever happened today. All right, so OpenAI has a GPT-40 or 40. I think that O is for Omni. They have a mini version of the 4.0. It's a smaller and cheaper AI model. So they're saying that this mini is cheaper and faster than OpenAI's current default model, which is the 4.0. So now they have a mini, and they're saying that this is being released for developers because it runs smaller and faster, and then it costs less for the developer, because OpenAI ChatGPT, they have what they call a playground API section where you can it's mostly for developers, but you pay per token or something. Like they have the ChatGPT has the Pro where you pay the $19.99 a month, but that's more of a user interface. And then they have a background section where you can go connect as a developer. It's called Playground, and then but you have to put your credit card in, and like whatever tokens you use, that's what you pay for. So that's what this is for those people that are using it in the background as developers. So it runs smaller and faster, so it doesn't cost as much. Okay, so and OpenAI is putting all these things out and confusing the average person. I'm like, don't confuse people. This is for developers. And yeah, so they also have new tools for enterprise customers, OpenAI. So they're announcing the enterprise compliance API to help businesses in highly regulated industries such as finance, healthcare, legal services, and government comply with logging and audit requirements. So they have an enterprise thing that they're rolling out for. Enterprise is corporate, like Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Nike, P&G, that they have compliance issues. So that's why they're rolling this out for them. And so they'll have that tool available for enterprise. Now YouTube tests AI generated radio stations for YouTube Music. Music Premium subscribers can now try out a new AI generated radio option, which enables you to personalize what you want to hear by describing it. So you can create a custom playlist based on conversational prompts. So, for example, this is from the article. If you're in the mood for angry metal music or relaxing instrumentals that feature female vocals, the system will come up with a continuous stream of tracks aligned to that text prompt. So you basically just tell it, what style of music you want to hear. The AI will try to match it for you. And so it's based on YouTube's existing keyword matching, based on text tags for each track. And it's what they're trying to do is let you have a level of customization. And this is currently in testing with YouTube Music Premium subscribers. So if you have the Music Premium, you got a new toy to play with. Enjoy. And let's see, TikTok has a new Eventbrite integration. So Eventbrite is the platform where you can go and you have an event offline or online, and you want to sell tickets, and they have all the tools that let you make the page and announce it, and you sell tickets and all that other stuff. So TikTok is having an integration with Eventbrite. It'll make it easier to include links to listed events on Eventbrite with the direct link highlighted within the TikTok clip. And that will enable viewers to tap through to the Eventbrite app or website to learn more and to book and buy the tickets. Now, this is a quote from TikTok. Through this partnership, any TikTok user can easily become an event creator by hosting their events on Eventbrite and seamlessly promoting and selling tickets directly to the TikTok community. So if you're, in TikTok and you're doing things like that, so they're making integrations where, okay, you can sell tickets, you can, shop, and all of these things that they're doing within TikTok. Again, we know what's coming for TikTok, but that's January, end of this year, January. So they're doing things. They're like, okay, we're just gonna keep going until whatever happens. And Instagram, here's one that is like, okay, we don't use notes, but they're putting more things, right? We don't, because if you have a business account, a professional account, you don't have notes. This is creators and not professional, personal. Like if you just go and sign up on Instagram as you, and you're not a business or whatever, you get all these cool things to them. So remember, notes is a tool that lets you leave a note in different places. Like you can leave a note on stories and different things. And so because we can't use it, because I don't have access to it, it's like kind of hard to see what it is. So we'll try to explain what it is. So now you can leave notes on reels and feed posts in the app. So they're saying that you could leave a note. Followers will be able to share a note directly on the post. It's like a post-it type message that's attached to wherever you put it. That's the best way to explain it. Notes are temporary. They last for 3 days and can only be left by mutual follow. So it has to be you're following and they're following you. And you leave a little sticky note saying, hey, whatever. So what it is that it's an option to, you want to spark interaction between friends. And this is probably why they're not giving it to professional, because businesses would go and be leaving sticky notes everywhere. Hey, we got a sale, save 35. They'll use it promotionally, and Instagram wants to use it as conversation starters, like in Snapchat. Like there's the private snaps and streaks and the conversations happening. So that's why we don't have notes. But the people that do have it, they can now leave a note on reels and feed posts. Now, here's another one that we can use. Instagram allows users to add multiple audio tracks to Reels. So you can add more than one audio track to your Reel. So you can add up to 20 tracks in one Reel. Now, why would you want to? That's a good question, because that's that's a lot of audio going on. But you can do it. So they're saying that you tap on add to mix option in the Reel editor. Once you add the tracks, you can trim them to include only the portion of audio you want. Okay, so I see it. It's not, you could do up to 20 tracks, but the first, say 3 seconds would be this audio, and then the next 3 would, so that's what they're letting you do. I thought it was like gonna be 20 all at once. I'm like, that's a lot of noise. But they're letting you do, okay, maybe the intro is like a dun, 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 like an explosion or something, but you don't want the explosion through the whole reel. It's just the first 3 seconds and then it stops. Then you do another and another and another. So those people that use the editor and reels, this is something they probably would want to have. And they're saying that the launch of the multi-track audio and reels gives creators expanded creative flexibility with the ability to visually align audio with elements like text, stickers, and clips. See, so if you had a sticker pop up, you could do a little pop or a little sound effect on it, and it's not the whole track. So to express their creativity in a way that feels right for them and their audience. Okay, Instagram. And one more from Meta. Meta is testing AI comment summaries on Facebook. Now, what this is, it will sum up the general consensus of all the comments on a post. Now, this works if you have a post where you've got like 100 comments. And then, because I've seen this on some of the people that I follow, like, they have big followings, so there's a lot of comments. And I'm like, well, I want to go through and read each one. I'm like, I'm tired. So now Meta is saying at the top of the screen of that post would be a summary of what everybody has said. So there will appear at the top of some post comment streams and provide an overview of what people are saying about that post update. So that's what they're doing. A lot of people, the journalist that wrote this was like, why? And I'm like, well, it's because if you've got a post with like 100 and something comments, somebody who has like millions of followers, they got a lot of comments. So for example, this would work for the CEO of Instagram, because I was just on Instagram. He put out another reel where people are complaining about, you're gaslighting us. We want all out. It's 2 months later. They're still on this same song. So I want to look at all the comments, and then I started to get tired because they were all the same. I was like, well, a summary would work for him because he's got like 1,000 comments. Right. I'm not going to read all 1,000 of those comments. So somebody like that. So somebody with a lot of followers, and they followers leave a lot of comments, and you want to get, because I want to get the gist of it. So now I don't have to read each comment. Meta will tell me the consistency of this is I'm like, okay, we'll see how useful that is, but that's where it would be used. Okay. And the person writing the article didn't understand. I was like, no, it's for people who have thousands of comments. And as me as I'm going in, like I said, with Instagram CEO, I want to see what the people are saying, because it gives me some insights on what they're thinking about. So now I don't have to go through all thousands of comments, which I never did, but I was just like, I always look at the first few and then get the feeling up. So now Meta is going to give me an AI summary. Cool. Like, thank you, Meta. And that's your social media updates for the week. Thank you. And now we have Dr. Tachi coming up and going to give us what's happening this week in media. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to find the microphone. If
Yeah,
you give me
trying to
give me
mute.
just 1 minute. Talk amongst
Okay.
yourselves. I'm sorry. Talk amongst
No,
yourselves.
okay.
Yeah, no worries. And Terry, it was Allentown that
Okay, Allentown. Let me go and find that.
I found the one on Lake Lanier.
Mm-hmm.
I found an article.
Interesting, right?
Huh?
Did it mention like the origins of the?
It did. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's true. Because I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, you really? They just, and it was like, yep, they just flooded it.
And there was a picture of that, like a cemetery underwater.
Oh yeah, they didn't move that.
They just like how?
Yeah, they were like, we flooding the town at 12 noon, and whoever hasn't left, well, if you didn't leave,
wow,
that's what they did. And then they're wondering why it doesn't work. Like, why is this not a popular spot like Disney World? I'm like, well, Disney World wasn't built like you built this lake. Mm-mm. No. Yeah, so the reel that I was talking about with Adam, the CEO of Instagram, it's got 1,881 comments. I'm not gonna read all those. So if they can give me a summary on here. But I got the gist of the comments was like, oh, show us our followers. These people are following us. My content is great. And I'm like, if it was great, people would be.
They would follow without you having to beg them to follow.
Right.
Because the cookies probably don't taste good. That's why they're not coming back for more.
Yeah, okay. So I like going through the comments because that gives me an insight into how people are thinking.
Yeah.
You ready?
Okay. I am. But that great info as usual, Terry Johnson Online.
You're welcome.
That's the kind of name that you have to say the whole name, Terry Johnson. Terry Johnson.
Online.
Absolutely online. Okay, so there are a few things that are happening. Unfortunately, we have I don't know what has been happening these past 2 weeks, but between the passing of Richard Simmons, we had
exercise guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Bob Newhart.
Bob Newhart passed away. This is the recent one, so we'll give a little bit about him. Also, last week, who else? It was
the guy from Hill Street Blues died. The guy that I forgot his name. He passed.
I didn't know that.
James Syking.
Huh.
James John.
Yeah, I did not.
I just remember his character was very like, because it's a police show, so he was very like.
Wow.
Let me see.
Wow. Interesting. Lou Dobbs.
Yeah, Syking, Sikking, actor best known for Hill Street Blues. He was 90.
I didn't know that. Why? And 90. I didn't even know.
Oh, that. He was on Doogie Howser, MD. I forgot that part. Okay. He was the dad. He was Doogie's dad.
Oh, he was the dad on Doogie Howser?
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. Wow. Yeah. So it's and Shannon Doherty passed away last week.
Yes.
Just Dr. Ruth passed away last week. I don't know what is happening, and then also Lou Dobbs, who was a CNN analyst, a conservative CNN analyst, he passed away. But I don't know what's happening, but there are a lot of people passing. And many of them are in their 90s, so they've lived quite some time. So Bob Newhart, if you don't know who he was a comedy icon. He was known for this kind of deadpan comedy, right? Not this like haha funny type thing, but it's
Yeah,
very ironic.
He didn't laugh. He was very like serious, but the jokes were funny.
Exactly. So he passed away yesterday at his home in Los Angeles at the age of 94. He also, if you remember, he played in Elf from 2003. He was Papa Elf. If you've ever watched that with what's his name from Saturday Night Live? Will Ferrell. With Will Ferrell, yeah. So he played Papa Elf. And I guess this is why, because he kept working, you don't think about his age. And he had lots of guest spots on The Big Bang Theory. And that's where he won his only Emmy as a guest star in 2013. And most recently, he was in 3 episodes of Young Sheldon.
Wow.
So,
really?
Yeah. And I didn't watch Young Sheldon, nor did I watch The Big Bang Theory because none of those really interested me. So, but rest well to Bob Newhart. His first foray into this whole world was in 1972 with his Bob Newhart show. And that ran for a total of 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah. From 1972 to 1990. That's a long show. You don't get that kind of longevity in television anymore.
Not anymore.
So rest well. Are any of you watching Halo? Halo is based off of a video game.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know the game. They have a TV show?
They do. It is an adaptation of the video game to Halo. And it is canceled. It is on Paramount Plus. So in case anybody is watching that, know that this is it. Yes. Paramount Plus. There's enough going on at Paramount Plus anyway. So they canceled the video game adaptation Halo after 2 seasons. And it is based on the Xbox franchise of the game. Starred Pablo Schreiber as Master Chief John 117. And so it finished its 2nd season in March. It will not be back for a season 3. So Halo is canceled. And by the way, if you're ever, I don't know how many of you watch traditional television, but if you are ever interested in what is being renewed, what is canceled, and what they call on the bubble, basically be waiting to see what's going to happen, check out Variety, The Hollywood Reporter. Those are 2 really good, and there's a bunch of other Deadline Hollywood. Those are 3 really good publications if you are really into TV and wondering, is this show coming back? But for those of you that are video game fans and Halo stans, it's not coming back. All right, let's talk a little bit about Netflix. So Netflix has acknowledged YouTube as a rival, but they say both services feed each other. Right, basically. So this is interesting, and I wanted to bring this up because we have to. Now is the day of reckoning. I think that these larger streamers and the larger networks were really ignoring things like YouTube for a while because they thought they were in 2 different classes. Well, while you're too busy being high and mighty on your horse, they're riding a Mercedes G-Wagon. Okay. So, you cannot be high and mighty anymore. So I think it's this article that came out of Deadline is interesting. So here are some of the stats. And this came after, Netflix had an earnings call. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But recent Nielsen data showed that YouTube made up 10% of all television viewing in the last month. That's big. 10%.
Yes.
It may not seem like a big number, but that's big, meaning that people who are watching a television set, that 10% of all that viewing is YouTube. That's something you can't ignore those numbers if you are a major media company at all.
Can't. They want to, though.
They do. So here's the thing. Netflix was lower at 4%. Although they're looking at it for as a subscription service. So again, it's apples to oranges a little bit because YouTube is free, right? You can buy movies and things on YouTube as well, but for the most part, it's free. And then you're looking at a subscription service. But I mean, it's still important to look at the fact that if Netflix was really all that great, despite the price, people will pay for what they feel is important, right? So they would still have a major share of television viewing if that was the case. Never mind free. The point is YouTube has free, but they also have quality. I don't always mean the quality of the tech involved, but the quality of the storytelling, the engagement that they're able to pull. I mean, we cannot deny that. So Nielsen, as I said, showed that 10% of all television viewing was them. 8.4 was Netflix. And then streaming viewership overall hit a record share topping 40%. So now we're looking at streaming overall being 40%. Ooh, networks, you should be worried. You should be worried. So Netflix's CEO, Ted Sarandos, said this: data shows that Netflix and YouTube are the clear leaders. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Netflix and YouTube are the clear leaders. In what world have you ever heard that sentence where you put Netflix and YouTube in the same sentence? You haven't heard it before. This is a change in the tide, and I need everybody to pay attention. If you're in this game, pay attention. Even if you're just a creator in this game, listen, you can't just be a creator. You need to know what's happening behind the scenes because that affects you as a creator. So if you are not paying attention to who's buying whom, what's happening where, what's streaming on where, you leave your business as a creator in jeopardy because you don't know what's happening. So pay attention when you see these types of things. That means YouTube is big. So Sarandos also said this: we clearly do compete with YouTube in certain segments of their business, and we certainly compete with them for time and attention. So he also said this: our teasers and trailers and behind the scenes clips and all those kinds of things are incredibly popular on YouTube. So in a way, we kind of feed each other pretty nicely. And that is true, right? So Netflix does have a YouTube channel and there are people following it. When you're at a certain level of followers and watch hours, you're eligible for monetization. So guess what? They're getting some monetization off of their YouTube channel. But YouTube is also getting content in the form of trailers and clips, etc., from YouTube. So that's filling up their library. So it is a cooperative relationship. So this is another thing to pay attention to. Rarely in this day and age does anybody exist in an entertainment bubble. It can't happen. Everybody needs each other. So if we didn't learn anything from this, everybody needs each other. Listen, so YouTube is a force to be reckoned with. When people keep saying, oh, YouTube, like I want to have my stuff on Netflix or whatever. Did you hear what Netflix just said? Did you hear what Sarandos just said? But that's why I'm saying as a creator, pay attention. Most creators are not going to read this and know that Sarandos said this, the whole CEO of Netflix. They feed each other. But you're so focused on getting your stuff onto Netflix or onto Bravo. My friend, I can't help you. I can only give you the information.
That's why I said about people, in Hollywood that the shows get canceled or whatever. I'm like, you got IP, take it to YouTube.
Oh, but they would never.
They don't want to.
They would never. And the thing is, I do understand that YouTube requires work. You can't just put your things there and think that people are going to it requires work. It requires advertising, cross promotion. It requires a lot. And even then, it still takes a while. Like all these people that you see that are big YouTubers now, you think they got that way this past year? No, probably not. For a lot of YouTubers, a lot of the ones I watch, they've been vlogging for like 10 plus years. And most of them are not millionaires. Maybe getting close to it, but They're not there yet in 10 years. So let's not try and rush the process, folks. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about Netflix. What else was said at that same meeting? They have topped 277 million subscribers. They've got strong Q2 gains and they've beat their earnings forecast. Good for you, Netflix. So they added 8.05 million net paid customers in Q2 to bring the global base to 277.65 million subscribers. They reported a revenue of 9.56 billion, that's up 17%, and a net income of 2.15 billion. Now, last year, that net income was only 1.49 billion. Guess who's happy? Investors. Okay. So this is an earnings per share of $4.88. Investors and shareholders are happy. Very happy about that. So this is what the company said. Viewing is the key to Netflix's success. It's the best proxy we have for member happiness. And when people watch more, they stick around longer, which is retention. Talk about Netflix more often, which drives acquisition, and place a higher value on our service. And they said this in its Q2 letter to shareholders issued Thursday. I need to look. Every time I read this stuff, I'm like, okay, did I look at that? And it's sad because sometimes it's like you're invited and I never go. I need to. If you are a holder of shareholder of Netflix stock, pay attention to these things. You should. Don't do as I do.
Wow.
Yes. All right, so let's keep going. We've got that in terms of Netflix. Good for you. I've got some interesting news, and I talked about this on Pop Gumbo. I've got 2 pop culture shows. So talked about this on Pop Gumbo, and Kevin and I are getting ready to restart Pop Unfiltered. That's why that is on my mind.
Okay.
Yeah, the podcast. So Lifetime has dropped a trailer for Miss Cleo. Do you remember Miss Cleo, guys, from the 90s? Call me now. Yes, she was one of the most popular psychics and personalities of the 1990s. And there was a movie, a documentary that came out called Call Me Miss Cleo. This was a few years ago. But now
I'm thinking there's a new one.
There is a not a docuseries, a biopic that is coming out. Okay. Yes, there's a biopic coming out on Lifetime. Yes, the same people that did the Wendy Williams biopic. Well, not biopic, documentary, but they did the TLC one. They've done a bunch of different things. This is what Lifetime exists to do. So they've dropped a trailer about, you know what? And I should put this in the chat so that we can play it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a second. I'll put the article here and I'm putting it in this shot. Okay. Or actually I think I have a option to do it. I can do it.
I think you do. Go ahead and try.
Yeah. All right, so let me talk a little bit more about it. And so it's called Miss Cleo Horizon Fall. It is set to air August 10th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, and it's going to be followed. Well, followed by that, the documentary Calling Me Miss Cleo will be played. So they will play Call Me Miss Cleo right after this. So this, the documentary follows the real life of Miss Cleo. But the film is starring Lady of Rage. You remember her, the 90s rapper? And she's an actress now too. So she's been in so many things. And this is directed by Sister star Tim Reed. So I am going to go ahead and play this Psychic Friends Network thing. Let's go ahead. Hold on a second. Let's open it in the tubing of the U. We're going to go back. Let me see if I can share this. Present. Share screen.
It's like, I know what you... Wait, let me see if I... Let me see if I can get it for you.
I got it.
Got it? Okay.
I do.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I see it at the bottom.
You see it?
Yeah, it's there.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me open it. And is it full screen for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Don't go blindly through life. Let me use the power of the tarot to show you the way. Call me now for your free reading.
Based on a true story.
This is Cleo.
You're our highest earner ever.
The sky is the limit.
No one could foresee.
Keep him on the phone. You got this. Tell me about your dreams.
24 million a month.
You're mocking our Jamaican heritage.
You've been served.
You do not need a crystal ball to know that the FTC will stop deceptive trade practices.
She's ripping off millions of people. I'm paying my bills and taking care of my kids. I'm not hurting anyone.
Let us talk to the lawyers. These things blow over.
People put their trust in you, Miss Harris. Are you even a psychic?
Our name's in the lawsuit.
But it's my face.
Miss Cleo, her rise and fall. Premiere Saturday, August 10th at 8. Only on Lifetime.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does look quite interesting, does it not?
Yeah.
It looks really interesting. And
I never knew what happened to her. I mean, I we did Call Me Now and saw the. I never knew what happened to her. Like, what happened to her? Like,
she passed away. A few, I don't remember what year it was, but she was 53 when she passed away. But again, this whole thing, this FTC investigation, etc. But my thing is, I need to watch and find out more, because my thing is, well, how is this her fault if she's a paid actor for a company? And I think they also clearly said for entertainment purposes only.
Yes, yes.
So it feels like it is a targeted attack. I can't wait to see this, to find out more, and I'm going to go ahead. But August 10th, again, if you are interested to find out more about Miss Cleo, the life and times of Miss Cleo, you can watch the biopic first, and then it will be followed by the documentary, Call Me Miss Cleo.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I have just a few more.
All right.
This is so interesting. I love Missy Elliott. For those of you who don't know Missy Elliott, the rapper, you should. She's amazing. She is so intergalactic, and the whole concept of what we call Afrofuturism, obviously that goes back a little bit further with Sun Ra in the 70s. But once you start to get to the more modern age, the 1990s, early 2000s, even now, Missy Elliott is it. So she really is that encapsulation of what we call Afrofuturism. And for those who don't know, that's basically the way Black people see themselves in the future, right? And she has always done that throughout her music. And she's just really creative. So what better person to look at for a song to send into deep space? That is exactly what NASA has done. They have sent her song into deep space, and that is the first hip hop song that they've sent into deep space. Now, they did this in 2008 with the Beatles. I think the song was called All Around the World or Around the World.
Mm-hmm.
And so they did this with the Beatles song. And what they did this time is they sent it to Pluto. They have a station, what is it called? It's not the International Space Station. It's called the Deep Space Network. Okay, so they sent the song into deep space through the Deep Space Network, and they chose the track "The Rain," Super Duper Fly, and it was July 12th. So it was just about 7 days ago. So last week, they sent it into space. It took about 14 minutes and traveled 158 million miles.
Wow.
According to Billboard and Black Enterprise. So NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in California actually facilitated this transmission. And it is interesting because this marks the milestone between the intersection of music and space exploration, and again, hip hop music and space space exploration. Okay. So on X, and I don't know why people are still using X, but it's okay. So she wrote,
Yeah.
Yeah. This is crazy. My song, The Rain, has officially been transmitted all the way to Venus. So this actually is very appropriate because it coincides with her tour. She is on tour now. It's her first North American tour, and it's Sierra, Busta Rhymes, Timbaland, and her. And I know a lot of people that have gone and said it is amazing. And I can imagine because last year she was one of the headliners for Essence Festival, and I watched. She's, I mean, just amazing. She puts on a show. So I can see why. So actually, this makes sense because Brittany Brown is NASA's digital and technology division director, and she highlighted the synergy between space exploration and Missy Elliott's artistry. She says this: both space exploration and Missy Elliott's art have been about pushing boundaries. Missy has a track record of infusing space-centric storytelling and futuristic visuals in her music videos, so the opportunity to collaborate on something out of this world is truly fitting. So good for you, Missy Elliott. I love to hear it. Love to hear it. Two more pieces of media advice. Let's look at Aussie Media. Now, I'm sure you remember because we talked about this. Aussie Media and founder Carlos Watson. You remember we talked about this last year? Maybe not. But Aussie Media founder Carlos Watson, remember, there was a whole thing of fraud, right, with him. So in 2021, it was ended in 2013. And in 2021, news reports questioned how many audience members Aussie Media actually have and revealed that a top executive had impersonated a YouTube executive. A top executive from Aussie impersonated a YouTube executive during a call with Goldman Sachs bankers. And wow. That the streaming site agreed to pay for exclusive rights to an Aussie show. So Watson had pleaded not guilty to that. Okay. His lawyer told jurors that he was betrayed by deputies who acted on their own and kept him in the dark about the wrongdoing. So Ozzy actually folded shortly after that. But I remember they were also trying to come back. I remember that very well. So
Yes.
next, Aussie Media and founder Carlos Aussie Media and founder Carlos Watson were convicted of fraud. Of lying to investors with Google and Oprah Winfrey. They were charged with securities fraud and wire fraud conspiracy. Yeah, it's not a joke. Not when when money is involved. So that's what happened there. He was convicted. I don't know what the sentence will be, but of course, sentencing has not happened yet. I will keep you up to date. And there is one last story I have, and this is social media, but it's still media. It's the two. So PBS has actually embraced live edutainment on Twitch. So obviously PBS has a mark on YouTube and TikTok, but now they're looking at Twitch. They have a show called Building Stuff with Nova. Now, do you all know the show Nova, which is like a science show on PBS? Right. So this show or this, segment on Twitch is called Building Stuff with Nova. So it's bringing and I didn't realize that Nova is 50 years old, but it's bringing it into the streaming world. Wow. So yeah, no, I think this is kind of cool. So it's a whole channel on Twitch. So this Building Stuff channel adds gamified elements that are appeal to Twitch viewers rather. If you view Twitch, anything on Twitch, you know that it's very gamified. They love that type of stuff. The host is a former NASA researcher, Dr. Nehemiah Mabry, and it's a weekly schedule that has play sessions and interviews with scientists and engineers. I think this is actually very cool.
It is.
Yes. So it's produced by STEM Media Incorporated for GBH, which is out of Boston. They're going to host streams each weekday until October. And they're actually going to do, this is interesting, they're actually going to do a live escape room as well. So yeah, that should be very cool. But I like to see more educational content veer into the streaming world. And so you're going to be able to watch Building Stuff with Nova, the channel, on Twitch.
Wow.
Nice.
That's what I have for you today.
Thank you. Wow. Interesting things happening in the world of tech. There's tech making history. And
right now.
Right now. So we just want to thank everybody for tuning in live and on the replay. We want to thank you for being a part of the BizChicks community. If you are not a part of the BizChicks community, you can do so by texting biz to 33777 or going to bizchicks.net. We want you to make sure that you check out TJ. You can find her at terryjohnsononline.com. Dr. Tachi at indiesoupmedia.tv, also on Mediascope, Pop Gumbo also. So there's many ways to keep connected with Dr. Tachi. We will be back next week with another episode. We're going to start off on Monday with some coffee and conversation. We just want to say thank you again for tuning in. Remember, we are here to help you take the hassle out of your hustle so that you can build a profitable business that's fun to run. And we will see you next time. Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Oh, where's the little button? There we go.